Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 11 wins and 5 losses. He stands 181 centimeters tall and already 83.6 kilograms. Representing Van Intessa and KO Fitness out of Den Haag, Netherlands. Give it up, Melvin van Suijdam. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 14 wins and 3 losses. He stands 182 centimeters tall and weighs already 84 kilograms. Representing Gladiator MMA and fighting out of Amman, Jordan. Give it up for the reigning Brave Combat Federation welterweight champion of the world, moving up to middleweight in a non-title bout. Please welcome the Jordanian Lion, Jarrah Al Silawi. For referee instructions, Decky the Bandit Larkin.
I tell you what, Carrick, no one does it better than Carlos Kramer, the unequivocal best in the business, getting everybody pumped for the fights.
Phil, in mixed martial arts, the first round or the better part of the first round is often spent getting leads, getting reads on what the opponent is doing. I think we're just going to see damage.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Melvin van Suijdam with that wide base. Both men, as you say, trying to download a little bit of data early on, trying to make reads, throwing feints, inside leg kick by Melvin. And it must be said, both of these men are natural welterweights, but Melvin does look ever so slightly bigger. Do you think the fact that they didn't have to cut down to welterweight will be beneficial for both of them, Carrick?
Phil, I hate weight cutting. I wish every fighter could fight at their natural weight. I think it lets fighters be their best, and I think that's what we're going to see right here. 2 world-class fighters at their very best.
I absolutely loved that little exchange. Jarrah threw a leg kick, Melvin threw one back and just gave him a little bit of a nod to say, you are playing in my realm right now with the kickboxing. Melvin does have concussive power in those hands. 4 of his wins by way of KO. Jarrah catches the kick, may try and take
down.
Jarrah himself has a very dangerous submission game with 5 wins coming by way of submission. Will he want to try and mix it up with the BJJ brown belt, who has 6 wins by a submission?
Jarrah, of course, at this point, he can step back, call his opponent up. He can kick those limbs. He can try and step inside the guard and ground and pound, or he can try and pass. We just got our answer from Decky Larkin, stood the fighters up. We are back to standing and banging.
Melvin looks very calm in there, as does Jarrah. These are 2 men who are used to being in main event fights, that are used to fighting the best in the world, that are used to fighting for championships. So whilst you may not necessarily have heard of Melvin van Suijdam, you're looking at a premier mixed martial artist.
Melvin got taken down off a middle kick. I think you're going to see him avoid those now, focus on the low kicks and his hands.
And for Jarrah, this must be a strange experience for him, fighting in a 3-round bout as opposed to a 5-round championship bout. So again, that gives him the freedom a little bit to open up, to kind of up the tempo ever so slightly.
And in addition to that, he didn't have to suck down and weight, potentially depleting his resources, his ability, the gas in his tank, his ability to fight. I think we're going to see Jarrah giving everything he's got.
Head kick.
Throughout.
Head kick initially from Melvin there. It looked like he caught it on the elbow. Wonder what kind of damage that might have caused to the shin. Both these men tentative. You can tell just how respectful they are of one another's power, of one another's technique. Melvin doing a good job with the footwork, trying to cut off the cage, and has worn a somewhat wry, almost psychopathic smile throughout most of this fight.
Phil, I'd say he looks just a little bit like the Joker.
Well then I'm on board. Oh, beautiful kick there by Jarrah with the lead leg, blocked by Melvin, but there's only so many of them you can absorb. Almost caught the kick again, did the welterweight champion Jarrah Al Silawi. Needs to be careful. Melvin got caught coming in there. Needs to be respectful of the all-round striking game.
Needs to be respectful of the all-around everything game of Jarrah. This is a man who can wrestle, strike, submit with equal world-class expertise.
That was 2 nice leg kicks, but then Jarrah timed a jab beautifully there, popped it off. And again, as with big main event style fights, a palpable air of anticipation and tension in the air. Question mark kick attempted there, and then thrown back with the lead leg. Nice 1-2 there by Melvin. Jarrah now the one making angles, cutting off the cage on Melvin. Exchange of heavy kicks. You can already see the marking up on the leg of welterweight champion Jarrah Al Silawi. Keeping those hands nice and high in a classical Thai stance. Melvin a little bit wider with the base.
Interesting but subtle change in action here now. Initially it was Melvin initiating, now we see Jarrah moving forward.
Nice exchange of leg kicks again there. Jarrah Al Silawi getting the better of that little bit of a kicking exchange. Overhand from Jarrah, pressuring Melvin against the cage. Lateral movement smartly implemented by Melvin. There you go, end of the first round.
Interesting round, Phil. Nice
Very
little glove touch. Good to see that sportsmanship. Who do you think pulled that round out?
I'll be honest, for the first time in a long time, I'm having serious difficulty. Usually, I can kind of get a sense of what fighter might have edged it. But genuinely, that is, and I say this sincerely, a flip of a coin style round. I can make arguments for either man, but it was just too close for me to call, Carrick.
I'm calling Jarrah Al Silawi for that round for the simple fact that judges, in my experience, tend to judge the second half of the round more deeply, more significantly than the first, and I think Jarrah pulled it out in the second. We saw him being stalked, and then, as I said, subtly turn it around and start to stalk his opponent.
Jarrah did absorb a little bit more damage, did have the bloodied up nose from the strikes landed by Melvin. And very much all to play for going into the second round here.
Phil, I'm curious to see whether Melvin van Suijdam tries to initiate a clinch or a takedown on Jarrah. If that happens, it means he doesn't think he's winning the striking exchange.
Again, Melvin opening up with the kicks. Now Jarrah, again, a beautiful little intricate kicking game as a little bit of a side note, a little bit of subtext to this fight.
Earlier, Phil, Jarrah was timing those kicks to try and get a takedown. Now he's trying to time those kicks to land a big shot to the head.
Going with the inside kick again is Melvin van Suijdam. And right now we haven't seen much of his judo. We haven't seen much of his ground game. He seems very much happy to stand and trade with Jarrah.
As I said, Phil, if we see him try and initiate a clinch, that's going to mean he doesn't believe he's winning the striking exchange.
Oh, that's a nice pop jab from Jarrah Al Silawi coming off the kicks. Timed it beautifully.
Again, Phil, Jarrah is starting to get reads on his opponent. He's starting to understand his opponent's timing, and he's using that not to go for a takedown, but to land big shots to the head like you see right there. He's looking to counter his opponent, not initiate.
Nice work to the body, and this is, of course, a non-title fight at middleweight for both men. That's why it's 3 5-minute rounds as opposed to the championship 5.
That,
nice job
coupled with a lack of a weight cut, is making for one exciting fight.
Melvin does have the ability to just dip off the center line and throw a big overhand that he has knocked opponents out with in the past. Takedown, clinch initiated by the judo black belt. Jarrah is the one who's happy to stand and bang.
Second takedown off of a kick attempt. In this case, it was a knee. Leg lock.
Oh, needs to be wary of the heel hook here.
Leg is entangled.
doesn't look
Jarrah's
like
out.
It looks like it's just a little bit too far out.
Without that entanglement, there's no real heel hook here.
Yeah, that foot looks a little bit too far down. It doesn't look like he has the whole leg end to stabilize it. Jarrah smartly steps over. And the thing with the leg lock is...
And mount.
Oh, he's right in the mount
Jarrah Al
position.
Silawi is in mount. Opponent turns.
Melvin van Suijdam gives up his back here. Could we see another submission to the already 5 impressive wins via such technique by the welterweight champion?
Half Nelson, a little unusual for this sport.
And the thing is, Carrick, he has 2.5 minutes with which to work right now.
Those hips are just about an inch high. Nope, they've sunk down now. Those hips are right where they want to be.
Statistically, when it comes to career finishes, Jarrah Al Silawi has 4 of his 10 finishes in the second round. Statistically, it's where he's more dangerous. Can he add to that? Melvin doing the right thing now by going 2-on-1. Showed his MMA intelligence, didn't think he had it. There's that overhand, dipping the head off the center line from Melvin. Oh, both men landed big shots. Beautiful lead hook there from Jarrah. Landed clean on the chin of Melvin van Suijdam.
Jarrah's sense of timing now is such that you cannot kick him in the body. If you do, at best, you're going to get taken down. At worst, you're going to get countered with a huge shot to the head.
Head kick attempt. Oh, he may have stunned him a little bit. Melvin charging forward.
Van Suijdam on the attack.
And now initiates the clinch. Difficult to take down an opponent at this stage when they're both a little bit slippery with sweat. Jarrah does a great job digging in for that underhook. And now presses Melvin against the cage.
A little bit of a different look than what we've seen so far in this fight.
60 seconds left in the second round. Can either fighter pull away? There's that big overhand again attempted by Melvin. Eats an uppercut coming in.
Little uppercut.
And you can see just how well conditioned Jarrah is. Defends that takedown beautifully. That's the kind of takedown defense we saw in the second Abduragimov. Turns the corner beautifully in those takedowns. And guard pull by Melvin. Wouldn't be surprised to see Jarrah just stand up out of this.
Jarrah may well be content to kick the legs once or twice, allow referee Decky Larkin to step in, bring him up to standing.
And you can see right now just how well conditioned Jarrah Al Silawi is. Isn't breathing heavy at all. Happy to continue to put the pressure on Melvin. Lands a big shot in the closing stanzas.
Nice up kick attempts from the Dutchman.
There you have it, end of the second round. It ended with Melvin pulling guard, staying on his back, taking some heavy, heavy breaths. Do you think perhaps conditioning is playing a major part in this fight, Carrick?
It is. As I said, I hate weight divisions in MMA. I think we've never gotten to see Jarrah Al Silawi at his best because he has to cut so hard. I think we're seeing him at his best. I think he's winning the striking exchanges, and that's why we're seeing a Dutch kickboxer trying to initiate that clinch. I am not trying to denigrate Melvin's ground game at all. I know he's got an excellent one, but I don't think he believes that he's winning the standing exchanges in this round. I believe that's why he's trying to initiate these clinches.
You can see these clinches being initiated, and a very easy takedown for Jarrah there, but more so a little bit of guard pulling, trying to transition into the armbar from Melvin.
This round, Phil, it is crucial that Jarrah keeps up his discipline. He may feel like he's pulling ahead in this fight, but if he blinks, he can lose it.
There you go. No touch of gloves to start the third round.
No love in these gloves.
I think if Melvin is going to win, it's going to be by that one big overhand. So far, Jarrah's shown just how good his submission defense is. I think it's going to take one big Herculean Hail Mary effort from Melvin van Suijdam at this stage of the game, Carrick. Oh, big head kick attempted.
Brave Nation, I wish you were cage side just like we are, just to hear the sound of that foot hitting.
Melvin looking the slightly more tired fighter. Everything's coming just that little bit slower, a little bit more labored. Whereas Jarrah, you can see, very light on the feet, still able to dart in and out.
Melvin's hands lowering just a little bit. That's not where they want to be.
You have to give credit to Melvin, still marching forward, still trying to land something on Jarrah.
That's something he's trying to land, Phil, is a big right hand.
Jarrah happy to stay on the outside counter. Nice leaping hook. Would like to see him follow something like that up with a straight to the head, maybe finish with a leg kick, start throwing punches and bunches and combinations. Just shy with another question mark kick.
Phil, we're seeing a big Jarrah advantage in footwork. He's able to dart in and then pop out to safety quicker than his opponent can adjust. Distance management, arguably the single most important quality in this sport, and you're seeing why.
Again, very tentative and edgy. Jarrah this time trying to come over the top with the overhand. Oh, beautiful leg
Opponent's
kick.
down. Incredible low kick. Melvin van Suijdam in bottom guards. Got two elevators in.
Again, big strikes being landed by Jarrah, putting the pressure on his opponent, landing big strikes, just compressing his opponent so they can't extend the hips. Needs to be wary of being trapped in here.
Jarrah's hands are wrapped up. He now wisely backs out. May kick the legs a little bit. Maybe content to let the fight go back up to standing.
Oh, lands a big shot down the middle. Melvin needs to get his hands out of the cage there. Decky Larkin gives him a warning. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Jarrah step off here.
Van Suijdam with the fingers behind the head. That's a clear sign. The opponent is feeling some weakness through his core strength.
Momentarily, Van Suijdam looked like he was going to try and transition into that heel hook again.
Looking for a knee bar.
He needs to get full extension on the hips, but Jarrah very calm, showing his championship quality, spins out of it, right now lands in the dominant position.
Little struggle to see whether the fight ends up in guard or in top mount.
Just gives Carlos Creamer there a little bit of a wink.
And the answer is Jarrah Al Silawi in guard. He's very, very comfortable here. He's content to play in the outside, maybe land a dive-bombing shot, and then pop back outside again.
And right now, at this stage of the game, Jarrah Silawi is answering every question being asked of him by Melvin van Suijdam. Needs to square off the hips just a little bit more for my liking there to keep himself safe.
Phil, he's got his opponent's head jacked up tight against that fence. It does hugely limit the options that the bottom player has from guard.
Just coming up to the final 60 seconds of this bout in the middleweight division. Might see Jarrah try and step it up ever so slightly, perhaps try and chase that finish.
Van Suijdam still working those hips, looking for another leg lock attempt.
And with so little left in the round, again trying to
There
swim
it is, knee bar
underneath for
attempt.
it.
Knee bar attempt, it's not far
Oh,
off.
and this looks a lot deeper than the heel hook. Can he get full extension on it? The knee of Jarrah seems to just be past the pivot point. He looks to be safe, steps over again. And you have to give credit to the ground game, the submission defense, the awareness of the welterweight champion Jarrah Al Silawi.
Jarrah Al Silawi is a master of submissions and, as you can see, a master of submission escapes. From the outside, it looked very, very close. I think from the inside, he remained completely confident. He's trying to pass those hips. 10 seconds left.
Landing
He's
big
looking
strikes.
for guard. Hooks are in.
Finishing strong in the final 10 seconds is Jarrah Al Silawi.
Digging for that choke, and the fight's over.
Beautiful all-round performance.
Go to the judges.
Beautiful all-round performance from Jarrah Al Silawi, making the step up to middleweight, not having to cut weight, and perhaps he's an even more dangerous prospect when he doesn't have to cut that additional weight.
Here we're seeing the Green Hill replay. Some of the great action in the Brave Combat Federation cage. We saw a 3-2 from Jarrah. That was my favorite kick of the fight. It takes incredible timing, incredible power to time and counter a kick with a kick of your own that drops your opponent to the ground. You see it relatively often in Muay Thai. This is not Muay Thai. This isn't checkers, it's chess. That was one fantastic example of what our sport is all about.
And from a promising start, I think Melvin just slowed down a little. He was part of a fight in which the pace was dictated by Jarrah Al Silawi, and Melvin just couldn't keep up with that kind of pace, that kind of pressure being implemented by the welterweight champion.
Phil, when the judges' scorecards are tabulated, I think we may hear one, possibly two 30-27s and one, possibly two 29-28s, but there is no question in my mind that Jarrah Al Silawi has won this fight.
As we say, scores just being tabulated. Right now, Carlos Kramer is standing cage side, ready to get the official nod from the judges. Jarrah still playing around in there, still looks fresh. Again, it must be said, this is a man that's used to preparing for five-minute championship rounds, so a 3 5-minute round fight. Absolutely nothing to this man. Carlos Kramer ascending the steps into the Brave Arena for the final time tonight, for the final time in this run of fights in Combat Kingdom. Carlos Kramer, make it official.
All right, Brave Nation, what an incredible main event we had right here at Brave 43 in Combat Kingdom. After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges score the bout 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, the Jordanian Lion, Jarrah